Greetings, retirement fans. This is Steve Kerfis, and I am just going to give you a little presentation on basically retiring before 67 years old. Okay, so this is really geared towards a Tier 2 teacher because Tier 1 is they allow different time frame for retirement, and there's just a lot of difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2. So the reason it's Tier 2 that I'm gearing towards is because hopefully this is a new teacher, someone who's 22 years old, or could be someone maybe 23, 24, kind of same idea, but all the numbers I put together are really for somebody who is 22 years old. But again, it's kind of the same concept. So if you want to set up a retirement account, you can still listen to this and learn some things, and hopefully at the end of this, I can kind of convince you to set up a retirement account. All right, so again, key here is you want to retire before 67 years old, which actually is the time that a lot of Tier 2 teachers, they're kind of gearing it towards retirement at 67 years old, okay? So let's first, a couple things here. I am going to talk about how you can actually retire when you're 55 years old, okay? So we're going to talk about between 55 and 67 years old, but if you want to retire when you're 55 years old, the key is you got to save $100 a week out of your paycheck, okay? Which is not really even $100, which we'll get to in a little bit. But really, based on paychecks, it's $217 per paycheck, which is really not that bad. It really isn't that bad, okay? But again, it's gearing it towards if you're 22 years old. So I'm going to have a QR code on this. It's going to be paper form or PDF, and that QR code is actually going to link to this video that I'm talking about now. That's why the QR code is not here, because I'm just making the video, okay? So a couple things here. First of all, this is really important, guys. Please note, this document is strictly for collegial discussion and not for official financial guidance, all right? You got to take your own risk. I mean, I take my risk with my portfolio. You got to take your risk with your portfolio. I can't tell you what to invest in. I can just tell you how to get started, and I can tell you the power of exponential growth. I'm a math teacher. I'm not a financial guy, but I understand the power of saving for retirement early and saving for 30 and 40 years and watching the money grow, not necessarily picking the right stocks. That's kind of your call. And if you can do it yourself, that's great. If you need a financial advisor, then do that. The key is you got to start early, okay? So I'm kind of gearing this towards you doing your own decision making. And it's pretty easy to do a decision, make your own decision. Go online, do Google, find out what things are good to invest in, okay? Don't be high risk, but don't be low risk. If you're low risk, you're not going to make any money. If you stick into a CD at a bank, you're going to earn 1% interest on your money, and that doesn't even keep up with inflation. If you put it in the stock market, that's where you're gonna earn your 10% or whatever. You could also lose the money. There's a risk. Okay, so just that's important to understand that. That is just for discussion, and really I'm not giving you guys financial advice, okay? So you can't come back to me in 20 years from now and say, you gave me bad advice, because I'm just telling you how to open up an account. All right, so here's the deal. How long do you want to work? What I did is I made some scenarios of early retirement and collecting your pension early. So you're allowed through TRS to retire before 67 years old. You can retire at 66, 65. In fact, you can retire at any time between 62 and 66. But you're going to take a penalty. And we'll talk about that in a second. So let's look at, first of all, let's say you're going to work until you are 67 years old. So here it is, 67 years old. Okay. You're going to collect your full pension. What your full pension is, it's 75% of the average of the highest 8 consecutive years of the last 10 years of service. So if you, obviously you're going to get an increase each year, and it's probably going to be your last 8 years that you're working. That is what is, and they take the average of those 8 years, and you're going to earn 75% of that money. And right now, as of 2020 or 2019, I guess that's when I really found out some information. It's 75% of $110,000. That is a max. So those of you who are making $150,000, it doesn't really matter. It's still 75% of $110,000, or this is your maximum pension right here, guys, $82,500. Okay, so I'm going to actually base a lot of this on the $82,500 because that's what you want to collect for the rest of your life when you retire. Okay, so as I kind of said, if you work until between 62 and 66, and you collect your pension, what's going to happen is going to be the same highest 8 consecutive years of your last 10 years, 75% of that, but there's a penalty. Okay, and I use this word here. I'm going to highlight this. It is a brutal penalty, okay, of 6% for every year. That's an awful penalty, okay? It's 6% for every year you collect your pension before 67 years old. So, for example, if you retire at 66 years old, you take 6% off of that $82,500 and you only make $75,900. And so I kind of did all the scenarios, 6% off each time. It goes down, down, down. So the earliest you can retire and the earliest you can collect a pension is 62 years old. So if you want to retire 5 years earlier, you only get $50,600. That is an awful penalty to go from $82,500 to $50,600. It is. It's awful. Okay, you lost $32,000. Brutal. Okay, so the whole point of me coming up with this video is to start saving on your own for retirement so you don't wind up making $50,600. You actually wind up getting your full pension. And you probably ask, well, I don't understand. If I'm going to retire early, how can I collect $82,500? The deal is you don't start collecting your pension until you are 67 years old. Okay, you can retire earlier, but you're not going to collect any of your pension. So you're going to retire at 62 and you're going to have money saved. So at 62 and 63, 64, 65, 66, you're going to use your money that you saved in your 403B retirement account. And then when you turn 67, then you can start collecting your pension of $82,500. Okay, so that's what I have here. So why invest for your retirement account when you'll be collecting teacher pension? And it's exactly what I just said here. You can retire before 67, not take your pension, and which will allow you then to collect your full pension of $82,500. The deal is you need to live off your savings until you can start collecting your full pension. Okay, so here are some scenarios of early retirement and not collecting your pension early, because these scenarios here, they're awful scenarios, man. You do not want to get stuck in this. These are awful scenarios because you're losing your pension. 6% is an awful, awful penalty. So let's look at some scenarios here. And again, so you're going to be able to collect a pension of $82,500 when you turn 67. Okay. So first of all, these scenarios are based on 3 events. 2 of them you can control, and one you can't control completely. You can control a little bit. So the things you can control is you can start saving when you're 22 years old. I mean, you just can do it. If you are just graduating from college and you're 22 years old, that is a choice you can make to start saving for retirement, putting money away. So that is the first thing you can control, that you're 22 years old and you're going to make a good decision. I'm going to start saving for retirement. The second thing you can control is your investment. Okay, what money you put in. So I know I can put in $100 a week or $217 a pay period into my 403B. And by the way, the 403B is for a government employee, which you are. If you're in the private sector, it's a 401k. You're going to put money into a 403B account. Okay, that's important. So you're going to put money, $100 a week, or again, $217 a paycheck, because there are 24 paychecks. You get paid twice a month, times 2 times 12, 24. Okay, and you're going to put that money away for 33 to 44 years. Okay, so and I put here, you can't completely control this, what you're going to put your money into, because what if the stock market goes down? What if it goes up? It could. There are years back in the 90s during the .com time where people made 100% of their money in the stock market, because the NASDAQ, which is one of the it's more of the technology, that just soared. People made a ton of money. The following year, people lost half their money. So you like doubled your money, and then you got half your money, and you wound up the same after 2 years. Okay, so there's always a risk. So you can't completely control it, but historically, this is important, historically the stock market returned 10% for the past 50 years. Okay, so you might have 1 year where it got, you went up 20%, the next year maybe goes down 10%. Okay, but historically over the past 50 years, the stock market has returned 10%. So that's a reasonable amount. That's what I'm basing all this on. And it may not work that way. Maybe like last year, which is 2019, the market was up a lot. Okay, I don't know if they actually have the number, but it was up a lot more than 10%. And you made a lot of money. And there were years when the banking industry was really bad and the market was down 20, 30%. Right now, I'm doing this video during the coronavirus. Okay, the markets just got crushed in March, and the Nasdaq reached an all-time high in June. So in June, July. So what's going to happen in the next several months? I don't know. So key here, I would say math fans because I teach math, but the key here, finance fans, is be a long-term investor. Don't panic. When the market goes down, put money in. When the market goes up, put money in. Don't worry about it. Just keep investing. And when you get closer to retirement, then you want to start kind of checking things out and doing a little more research. But when you're young, put the money in and you'll be fine. Okay, just don't watch it every day. Okay, so the goal of these scenarios that I'm about to show you guys is I want you always to have an annual income of $82,500 every year after retirement. That's my goal. Okay, so remember I told you when you're 67 you're going to have that income of $82,500. Well, I want you to have that income from the day you retire. So now truly the earliest you can retire is age 55. Okay, but anyway, so let's kind of go through this, some of the different scenarios. Okay, so here's the first thing. If you want to retire when you're 67, which is actually the TRS, Teacher Retirement System retirement age, you really don't need to save any money. Okay, but it's still recommended. Always recommended to save money. Why would you not save money? Okay, so you'll be able to collect a pension of $82,500 if you decide to retire at 67 and not do anything else. Okay, without any retirement savings. Okay, but don't do that. Put money away. Okay, so here's the deal. I made a little chart below here. The following chart shows expected retirement age, the number of years of saving starting at 22 years old, the value of the investment after all those years, the number of years that you're going to take out the $82,500 to be withdrawn until you're 67, and the leftover money after you withdraw that $82,500 every year until you're 67. So there's kind of a lot of columns. So let's take a look at this. Okay, I kind of talked through a couple of scenarios here. And so for example, if you want to retire at age 66, so here it is. Here's age 66. Okay, you're going to save $100 a week. Remember, it's all based on saving $100 a week, and you're going to do it for 44 years. Okay, so 22 to 66 is 44 years of savings. The value of so here it is, 44 years. The value of that investment, and again, this is putting it in the stock market. This is compounding interest, 10% per year, putting $100 away, or the $217 per paycheck for 44 years. There's all kinds of little investment calculators, and I actually made a spreadsheet to kind of just to verify, to check it out. But the value of your investment is going to be $3.7 million. That is crazy, but it's true. You put $5,200 in 1 year, and then you earn interest on that, and you put another $5,200 on that, and now you're earn interest on the $10,400 plus the interest you've earned. You earn interest on that. So the deal is you're going to earn interest on your interest on your interest on your interest, and it's going to keep going. You're going to keep putting more money away, and you're going to make a ton of money. Okay, lots of different sites to go to check this out. So if you're interested. Okay, so what I did is I said, well, you're going to save $3.7 million, and you're going to take $82,500 out for 1 year because you retired at 66. So you can take it out for 1 year because remember, you do not want to touch that money until you are 67. So how much you going to have left over? You're going to have $3.65 million left over. Phenomenal amount of money. It's unbelievable how much money you can earn in the stock market, hopefully, but just in general by saving. Okay, earning 10% per year, you could save that much money. So what I did is I kind of did a scenario for each one of these. And again, this last column is the one that's pretty important because that's like your nest egg at the end. Okay, so if you did all this, saved all these years and put $100 away a paycheck or a week, that's how much money at the end here. So much money you're gonna have left over. So I did that all the way. I did 66, 65. So let's say you want to retire when you're 60 years old. Okay, that means you're going to save for 38 years. It's amazing how this money goes down. Instead of making 3.7 million, you're saving 6 less years. You're only making about 2.1 million. You're actually losing about $1.6 million. That's how much, by not saving as long, you're losing over $1 million, over $1.5 million. It's crazy. Okay, you never really notice how much money you're making for the first, second, third, fifth, even 10th year. Where you start seeing how much money you're actually accumulating is when you start getting to like 20 years and 25 and 30 and 35. Then all of a sudden you're starting to make a ton of money. Okay, when you don't earn, let's say even the first year you put $5,200 into an account and you earn 10%. Okay, that means you're going to make $520. And you might say, well, $520, that's not that big a deal. Yeah, but then the next year you're going to make more and more. It's compounding. Compound interest makes you a ton of money. All right, so I'm going to go actually to the earliest age that you can retire is 55. You can't retire earlier than 55. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to get you have your retirement from TRS, and remember you're not going to start collecting it until you're 67 years old. So the deal is from 22 to 55, you have now saved for 33 years. You're going to save $1.27 million. Okay. Again, the longer you save, the more money you're going to have. But you save $1.27 million. That means you need to take money out of your account for 12 years. And you're like, well, we don't you quite understand this. If I say 82,000 or 12 years times $82,500, because remember that's our goal is how much you want to make. So if I multiply 12 times $82,500 and I subtract it from that number, that's how much I have left over. So in other words, you'll be able to at 55 years old take out $52,500 from your savings account that you just saved. And then you'll make your way all the way up to 67 years old, and then your pension is going to start paying you the $82,500. But you're going to still have $281,000 left over in your retirement account. So you can buy that new Ferrari. Probably Ferraris are going to be $10 million then. But anyway, you're going to have a nice little nest egg left over. Okay? So the deal is save money, and by the time you get to be 55 years old, you'll have that much money saved over. You can withdraw that every year. And that's how much you'll even have as a nest egg when you are 67 years old, and then allow you then to keep to withdraw $82,500 from TRS, but still have a nest egg of over $250,000. Okay. Again, no guarantees. Never a guarantee. Okay. And you got to be careful because you could be 55 years old and say, "Gosh, I could be 54 years old, and let's say I have $1.5 million." And we have a bad year in the stock market and it goes down half, and you now have $750,000, you've lost half your money. Okay, so this is where you need to research it and know exactly what you're investing in. You're more risky when you are farther away from retirement, and you're less risky as you get closer to retirement because you want to be less risky with your money. Okay, all right, so this is the power of exponential growth. And I want to show you one more. I don't mean to make this video super long. It's already 19 minutes. But here's one more scenario that I kind of put together. Let's just say every year, you can even read along here. Okay, every year after the first year, you contribute an extra $10 a week. So in other words, $22 extra pay period. So the first year you invest $217. Okay, and then the next year you get a raise. So the next year you take some of that raise, and you now, instead of saying $217, you invest $239. And then year 3, you invest another bit of that. You invest another $22, and now you're doing $261. So you're basically adding $520. That's how much $10 a week 50 times 52, that's how much you're adding extra every year. So let's say you get a $2,000 raise, okay, because you get a step as your raise, but you get a $2,000 raise, you take a fourth of it and you put it into your retirement account. Okay, so in other words, you're kind of increasing your retirement, the amount of money you're putting in retirement every year. So I kind of made a scenario. If you do this, your age 55 nest egg is going to grow from, here it is, the 1.271 to 2.354. So you're actually going to make, look at this, guys, you're going to make an extra $1.1 million by taking a little bit of every raise and putting it back into retirement, okay? It's always the money that you put in early. If you do that for a couple of years and then you didn't do it after a couple of years, it's still going to make a big impact, okay? So just kind of remember that. The more you can put away for retirement, the better off you are. But here's the deal. Don't get crazy. Some people like put so much money away, they can't even enjoy their lives. They don't go on vacation. They never buy a car. They're saving and saving and saving. What are you saving for? I mean, you want to enjoy your life, and I understand you want to have a good retirement, but don't like save and that you can't spend any of your money and enjoy and do things nice with your family and friends. You got to learn how to save, but you got to learn how to spend. It's important. Okay. So, to kind of summarize here, you need to start saving now. When you're 22 years old, you got to do it now. Into your 403B account. Okay, and then you can retire early with a comfortable salary. Do not wait a single year. You wait until you're 23 years old, you're going to lose a lot of money. It's kind of crazy, but 1 year is a big deal. Okay, time makes you money, but it also costs you money. It makes you money because you're putting it away for a long time, but it costs you money because you haven't started when you were supposed to. Okay, so in these all these calculations that I've done, I even said, please note, these calculations are based on starting your retirement account when you're 22 years old. Okay, if you're already older than 22, you need to start your weekly contributions, or to increase your weekly contributions to make up for lost time. Okay, and there's a lot of, you can even come talk to me, but there's a lot of websites where I can say, hey, what year you're going to start saving for retirement and how much you actually need. And so you can kind of figure that out. But again, this is kind of geared towards somebody who's 22. If you're 25, it's not too late. I mean, if you're 50, it's never too late, but it's too late to make the big money. If you're 30, it's too late to make the really big money. Okay, if you're 23 or 24, 25, you can still make the big money. You might have to contribute a little bit more money. You've waited for 3 years, but still you can do it. Okay? All right. The rest of this, guys, is steps to open up an account. Okay, and I kind of did this. I actually went through the website and just to show you exactly how to open up an account with District 211. So here's the deal. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to our Conant website, James B. Conant site, and you want to look for under the staff. Okay, that's important. So you go under staff. And I even said here, staff, you're under staff, and you want to go to quick links. So I put arrows here of exactly what you want to do. This is all brand new stuff, so it should be very current. I mean, as time goes on, it might change a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to go to staff intranet right there. Make sure you click on the right thing. And once you get there, it's going to ask you to identify yourself. So make sure you put this is your school, like your login and your email name, right? And then your password is what you use for your email. And then your employee authorization code is your employee number. Okay, it should be a 6-digit number. And I think, I don't know, mine starts with a 0. So maybe they don't even start with 0 anymore because they have more people. I've been here lots of years. So anyway, you got to find those numbers. If you don't know some of these, you got to kind of find out. I'm sure you can get this from the main office or from the Hill. Okay, so once you enter all that in there, hit sign in right there, right? Sign in, and that's going to bring you to this nice little screen, and it says Township High School Intranet, and then you're going to want to click on Payroll Information, this little guy right there, and then you're going to click on this guy right here. It's going to say Salary Deduction Authorization for 403B Plans. Okay, do not do authorization form. I'm looking for it up. for annuity contract. There's other ones to do. Just make sure you click on the right one. Okay. I mean, I identify what to do, so don't click on the wrong one here. Okay. So once you do that, you're going to be able to open up an account. Now, I kind of did this in maybe a little bit reverse order, but before you actually open up an account with District 211, you can print this out, which you need to. Before you do that, you need to open up an account with Fidelity or Vanguard. And those are the two best companies. Again, you can open up whatever you want, but Fidelity and Vanguard are the only ones that allow you to invest yourselves. There's 1,000 other companies you can invest in if somebody else is helping you. Understand, when somebody else helps you, it's really nice, but understand that they're charging you. So whenever you put money in, you might set something up. Every time you put money from a paycheck into your retirement account, they are making money on you. They're collecting 1% or whatever the fee is, they're collecting that money. So if you can do it yourself, do a little research, maybe come talk to me. I'll help you out a little bit, kind of show you the ropes a little bit. I won't tell you what to invest in, but do some research and figure it out yourself, and you can save that money. And that 1%, you might think it's not a big deal. That 1% is the difference between, it could be $1 million. It's a lot of money. So don't blow that off. Okay. So anyway, again, make sure you open an account. It's very important. Okay. So we're going to get to that in a second here, but once you fill out this form, so make sure you print out, fill out the form, and you want to inter-office mail it to the payroll department at the admin building, which is building 0. So make sure you put building 0 on your manila folder. Okay. And currently for the year 2020, you are allowed to contribute $19,500. Now I'm only having you contribute $5,200. So if you want to put a little bit more in there, $6,000, $7,000, what you do is you take $7,000, you divide it by 24 to figure out how much per pay period, and that's how you're going to fill out this form. Okay. And the current person right now to ask any questions is a lady. Her name is Lisa Ochoa. Okay. And her extension is 6662. You can always call payroll and ask to talk to somebody there. Either Lisa will help you or somebody else, whoever's there, will help you. Okay, so let's talk about filling out this form. Again, I have Fidelity and Vanguard, so you can use either one. They're both good. My current one is Fidelity, but back in the day, I had Vanguard, and District 211 stopped using Vanguard, so I had to switch Fidelity, and now they're back to Vanguard again as well. So either one is good. So when you fill out this form, you're going to definitely write in the name of the company, so Fidelity, and you make sure you check this no load. Now remember, no load means you're doing it yourself, which I recommend doing it by yourself. If you want, unless you're not comfortable, then you can hire somebody else to do it and pay them. Got to pay somebody though. Okay. So anyway, wherever there's a star, you're going to fill this in. Name, identification number. Again, this is I believe your 6-digit number here, and you're a teacher or counselor or whatever position you have. Okay. And here, this is where you equal amounts. So I believe that was like $217 a paycheck. Going to fill that in. If it's, you want to put more in there, you want to round it up to $220, maybe you want to go $250, whatever you can, and then you put when you're starting it. Okay. All right. So, and by the way, this is an original agreement. So you want to definitely check the original agreement unless you're amending it. If you're maybe remember I told you add an extra $20 or whatever to that per pay period. This is where you're going to say, oh, I want to increase it to whatever, from this to this, beginning whenever. Okay, and then you put the date down there. All right, so that's it. And then down here, the reason I cross this off, guys, is because this is if somebody is taking care of your account for you, then they're going to fill it in. It says your agent, name of all kinds of stuff here. And also make sure you fill in the date of the agreement, your signature, and then the person in District 211 who's in charge of everything, they will sign that. Okay, that's all you do, and you fill it in and you send it to payroll office. Okay, so I did Fidelity again just to because I did a Google on it and it was pretty easy. But I said the steps to open up an account with Fidelity, and again I chose Fidelity because there are no load. A load means there's a fee that they charge. So I don't. They don't charge any fees, so I like it. So that by their mutual funds, and they have low maintenance fees. Some of these other companies They have high maintenance fees, and they get you. They cut out 1% or 2% or 3%. It's brutal. Okay, so if you can do it yourself, you're going to save money. Okay, but come talk to me, or just go on the internet and say what is just the best investment. You're investing in mutual funds, not individual stocks. All right. So anyway, if I do a Google and I type in Fidelity 403B, these are the things that come up. Like we're talking in July of 2020. These are the things that came up. So the thing that you want to actually do here once things come up is you want to click on Plan Options, Nonprofit Organizations 403B. If you don't see that, just kind of keep going through it, but this is really what you're looking for. And then you click on that. Okay, so this is what's going to come up here. It's going to take you to the Fidelity website, and it's going to say your nonprofit organization. So this is what you're going to see. 403B offers you blah, blah, blah. And to enroll now, you're going to have obtained a 5-digit plan number. Anyway, I'm going to go through this in a little bit, but you're going to want to click here where it says to click here to to sign up. Okay, so you're basically telling District 211, this is how much I want to take out of my account. You're not telling Fidelity this is how much you're going to invest. What's going to happen in Fidelity is you're going to tell Fidelity, hey, I want to put 50% of my money in the S&P 500. I want to put 25% into real estate fund and 25% into international fund. Okay, that's what you're telling Fidelity. District 211 doesn't care where you're investing your money. They're just sending it to Fidelity. You already told them, I'm sending it to Fidelity. So that's all District 211 cares about is who do they send the money to. And Fidelity doesn't care how much money you're sending them. They just want to know how you're going to divvy it up. Well, 10% here, 20% here, 50% here. What are you going to do? That's all they're concerned about. Okay? So after you click on that little link there, you're going to say, welcome to the enrollment. These are easy steps. It'll take 15 minutes, pretty fast. So what you're going to do is you're going to do an account setup, user registration, and you're going to enroll in the plan. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to enter in your social security number. They need that for all the tax purposes. So make sure you enter that in correctly. And then this is the District 211 account number, 55991. And make sure you enter that in the new plan ID space. Okay, and once you do that, then you're going to go into, that's going to create your Fidelity account. And this is where you're going to kind of have to do a little research on your own and then make sure you have told Fidelity where you're going to put the money. If you don't tell Fidelity where you're putting the money and you just like click on this and start it up, they're just going to hold it and it's not going to make any interest on anything. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, so I put here, once you put your money into a 403B account, you can't touch that money. You can't touch it. Now you're like, well, wait a second, Steve. I thought you said we can't touch the money. If I'm between 55 and 67, can I just touch it? Yeah, actually you can. Okay, so I put here there are exceptions, but technically you can't touch it until you're 59 and a half years old. So our goal is to touch it when we're 55 years old because you want to retire at 55. Okay, and by the way, if you touch it without this exception, if you say, I want to buy a new car, and you do touch the money, you're going to have to pay a 10% penalty, plus you're going to have to pay income tax on it. So you're supposed to pay income tax on it ahead of time, but this is our little tax saving, which we'll talk about in a second here. So you just don't want to touch that money. Once you put money away for retirement, unless it's a true emergency, you want to keep that money in there because it's really easy to say, well, I've accumulated, $100,000. I think I'm going to take it out and buy this new car. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, it's your retirement account. Don't touch it. All right. And I even said here, you don't want to even touch the money because if you touch the money, it's not going to grow like you want it to grow. Okay. All right. So let's look at just a couple more pieces of information. We're almost done. This video has gone out for 35 minutes. So let's just finish up here. So I said a few other important pieces of information. First of all, this is important. We didn't even talk about this. Why would you put your money into a 403B? Why not just put into open up a brokerage account and just start saving money and buy stocks and buy mutual funds? Well, the deal is, and that's the question, why put your money into a 403B account? Why not just invest it in the brokerage account? And the answer to this, as you can read it here, The answer is contributions to your 403b account are made pre-taxed. That is huge. In other words, money comes out of your paychecks, paycheck before you pay any federal or state tax. So I put it as an example. Let's say your income, your gross income is $2,000. Okay, and your federal tax rate is 20%. That means you're going to pay $400 in taxes. Okay, so your income's $2,000, you're paying 20% tax, which is $400 in taxes. But if I contributed $217, and I meant this as your gross income for one pay period. Okay, so you're banking $2,000 in a pay period, and if you contribute $217 to that 403b account, now instead of being taxed on $2,000, you subtract that $217 and you're only taxed on $1,783. So now instead of paying $400 in taxes, you're paying $357 in taxes. That is one heck of a deal. Okay, you are saving money because you're paying, it's like you're saving $43. You're paying $43 less in taxes. So really, guys, instead of investing $217, which you think you are, with that tax savings, you're actually investing $174. So you're investing $217, but it looks like you're only investing $174. It's like earning 20% right away on the money you get right away. 20%, that's phenomenal. You make 20% on your money right away. As soon as you just invest it by that tax savings. Okay, and I even said, what a deal. Best deal. You got to do it. You got to do the 403b though. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go to that early withdrawal. Remember, I told you you can't take the money. You can't really touch the money until you're 55 and a half years old. But I just kind of find out it's kind of a nice little rule. It says, what if I just want to retire between 55 and 59 and a half? Won't there be a penalty if I withdraw it from my 403 account? And the answer is that's one of the exceptions. If you retire age 55 or later, you can access your 403b account without penalty. And this is called the Rule of 55. Do Google on it, Rule of 55. It allows you to retire at 55 years old if you're retired, or it allows you to take your money out of the account when you're 55 years old, but you have to be retired. Okay, so in other words, you can't be working and go, I want to touch some of my money. You actually have to be retired. But the deal is, you got to retire. You got to retire at 55 and after. So if you say, maybe I'll retire when I'm 54, then you can't touch the money until you're 59 and a half. Okay, so you actually, whatever your birthday is, okay, if you wait until you're 55 years old on that birthday, then you can touch the money. You can take money out of it, okay? And that's how you get to pay the age 55 and 56 and 57, 58, 59. That's how you can actually start taking money out of that penalty-free, is by accessing your 403b account. Okay, phenomenal deal is that tax savings. It's a really good deal. Okay, so anyway, this video is, again, it's long. It's 39 minutes. It's gonna be 40 minutes here. But remember, I'm just trying to show you how important it is to start saving and how to start up a retirement account. That's the main focus of this video, guys. Okay, you got to figure out what investments are. I mean, I could talk to you a little bit about it, but you need to make that decision. I even put here, I'm a math guy. I know the power of exponential growth. I'm not a financial guy. Okay, I run the finance club. That's fun. I mean, I enjoy talking with the kids, and I can give you a little bit of advice and tell you, like, a credit card or a checking account or a good interest. There's always a little more risk with different things. There's always a risk. Okay, that's why I put here, I'm a math guy, not a financial guy, and investing in your money is your risk. Your money is your risk, not my risk. I take the risk with my own account. Of course I did. I don't blame anybody. So when I lose money, I blame myself. When I make money, I pat myself on the back and say, wow, good job. I made money. Okay? So that is really, really, really important. So the main thing here is, guys, open your retirement account today. Okay, really, really important. And last thing, guys, which I think is really, really important, if this video or this document, if it helped you to start a retirement account, make a donation to Cougars in Need. give them a check. You can even do it online. It's a tax deductible thing, and give them $100. You know, I mean, you're saving all this money, and why not help those in need? Maybe you give them $100 a year. Maybe you just do something nice for them, or maybe you say, "Gosh, I made 10% on my 5,200, and they'll give 1% of that." I don't know. Just make a donation, because remember, helping others is important. It's really, really important. Okay. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for making the donation to Cougars in Need, and I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, send me an email. Come visit me in the math office. I'd be happy to help you. But the key is start saving money early for retirement, and know what you're doing. Know a little bit what you're doing. Do your research. Do a Google on it. Okay, because if you don't do a Google on it and you don't know what you're doing, you don't want the money just sitting there. You want it to be invested into the stock market, because that's where you make the money. CDs don't make you money. CDs, over the long term, you kind of lose money because you only make 1% or 2% when the rate of inflation is higher than that. That's just not a good place. Okay, it's a safe place, but you want to be not as safe as you need to be when you're about to retire, or when you're 80 years old. You want to be a lot safer, because you got to count on that money. But when you're young, it can be a little risky. But still put it into quality investments, and you will be good to go. So thanks for watching the video, everyone. And like I said, good luck with retirement. Hope you do well. My motto, I'll leave you go here. But my motto is, I've told my students this many times, I don't want to be a billionaire. I just want to be a millionaire. The reason is because if you're a millionaire, that means you were just a smart investor. You put money away every paycheck, and you did well. And you're like, well, why wouldn't you want to be a billionaire? In order to be a billionaire, that's a lot of risk. You're putting it into risky stuff. For every billionaire, there's thousands, tens of thousands of people who went bankrupt because they're like, let me try this out. Let me see what I can put in there. Okay, so everyone, it's easy to be a millionaire. It really is. You just put money away. I mean, you saw that. Go back to the scenarios. You can make easily millions, $2, $3, $4 million by starting to save $100 a week. But you got to start early. That's important. Okay? Anyway, thanks for listening. And like I said, any questions, give me a shout. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.